This year, in the regular season, the Las Vegas Aces had their worst record since Becky Hammon became coach. They went 27 wins, 13 losses. Now, you all may say, what's the big deal? That's not that bad. Well, we're going to get into it. The reason for the 13 losses was partially because of injuries, right? But also because the Las Vegas Aces has not really evolved since 2020.
Can you believe what's happening to the Las Vegas Aces? Once the queens of the WNBA, they're now unraveling faster than a house of cards in a hurricane. It's like watching a slow-motion car crash. You just can't look away. How did it all fall apart so quickly? From a shocking playoff exit to locker room drama, we're diving into the implosion of what was once the most unstoppable team in the league.
Vegas Aces. The team that revitalized the modern day super team in the WNBA. They went from dominating the league, winning back-to-back championships, literally having teams craft their roster in order to beat the Aces. That same team that was at the top of the mountain when it came to the WNBA is now the team that did not live up to expectations this year, and is a team that's one by one falling apart in front of our own very.
Let's rewind to the playoff series against the Liberty. The Aces walked onto the court like the trophy was already theirs. But everything went sideways. Their once flawless offense, a well-oiled machine, turned into a rusty jalopy. Kelsey Plum couldn't hit her usual shots, and Chelsea Gray, the point guard wizard, lost her magic when it mattered most. Her shooting percentages plummeted, leaving fans in disbelief.
Yes, this is a very talented team. However, they lost games they shouldn't have lost. They had some of the star players on the team did not show up when they needed to show up. And ultimately, they lose.
It wasn't just individual performances. It felt like the entire team forgot how to play basketball overnight. Sloppy passes, rushed shots, and missing chemistry turned the Aces into a shadow of their regular season dominance.
So even with the MVP on their roster, even with a $1 million NBA coach, even with 6 Olympians on your team, the Aces lose in the semifinals, and their quest for a rare three-peat is now over.
You might think everyone has a bad game, but this wasn't just a bad game. It was a total meltdown on the biggest stage. Their bread-and-butter offense crumbled like a house of cards, leaving fans and analysts stunned.
Sure, the Aces still won games, but the Aces that we see now is a star personality heavy team that lacked the hunger that drives teams to actually be exceptional and win championships.
How bad could it get? Imagine a team that dominated all season suddenly looking like strangers on the court. Players out of position, shots clanking off the rim, and the Liberty capitalizing on turnover after turnover. And if you thought the on-court disaster was bad, wait until you hear about the chaos behind the scenes.
Us as black women, Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, it's not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, she's good at basketball. She understands her privilege. It's like when pushes her over the top in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. That's.
The Aces' once tight-knit locker room has become a war zone. AJA Wilson, the franchise's golden girl, is now at the center of the turmoil. Teammates describe walking on eggshells around her. Even coach Becky Hammon, usually calm and composed, is visibly cracking under the pressure.
And this is why three-peating is hard. Let's be real. The whole league has been pissed off for the last 8 months, and my players are in commercials and this and that and being freaking celebrities, and you get distracted. That's why it's hard.
Hammon's frustrations spilled into the public. She called out her players for caring more about Instagram likes than their performance, a sign that even she's struggling to hold things together. Meanwhile, Wilson's passive-aggressive social media posts are fueling speculation about her leadership.
I personally haven't loved the way that Becky has conducted herself this season. There has been multiple things that have made me think about her maybe a little bit differently than I did in the past, and maybe it was because I hadn't seen as much from her as I did this season. But this interview to me was very telling.
The chaos surrounding the Las Vegas Aces isn't limited to their players. It's permeated the front office as well. General Manager Natalie Williams has resigned, taking with her a wealth of experience and stability. To make matters worse, several top assistants have followed suit, Leaving the organization without key decision-makers during a critical time, this exodus couldn't have come at a worse moment. With free agency on the horizon, the Aces face a daunting challenge. How can they attract top-tier talent when the leadership structure is in shambles? A team once celebrated as the gold standard of the WNBA is now struggling to keep its foundation intact. The timing of these departures has thrown the franchise into disarray. Without a clear vision from the top, the Aces' ability to rebuild and remain competitive is in serious doubt. The front office's instability not only affects potential player acquisitions but also raises questions about how the team will navigate the upcoming season. Replacing a general manager and key staff is never easy, but in the midst of ongoing controversies and performance issues, it becomes an even steeper hill to climb. The Aces' reputation, once a major draw for players, has taken a hit, further complicating efforts to bring in the talent needed to restore their dominance. As the dust settles, the team finds itself at a crossroads. The departure of leadership figures is more than just a staffing issue. It signals deeper problems within the organization. If the Aces can't stabilize soon, they risk falling further from their once lofty perch atop the league. The road to recovery will require more than just filling vacant positions. It demands a complete cultural reset to regain the trust of players, fans, and the league as a whole.
On Saturday, October the 26th, the Las Vegas Aces announced that general manager Natalie Williams will not be returning to the team as part of a restructuring of the front office.
The situation worsened with allegations of pregnancy discrimination and salary cap violations. The WNBA stripped the Aces of their 2025 first-round draft pick, and further investigations could result in massive fines or additional penalties. The Aces' once golden reputation is in tatters. Meanwhile, in Indiana, the Fever are stealing the spotlight. Caitlin Clark, their rookie sensation, is rewriting the record books and reigniting the team. With 62 records shattered in her debut season, Clark's leadership has elevated the entire roster. AJA Boston, Lexi Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell are thriving under her influence, creating one of the most dynamic backcourts in the league. The Fever's resurgence is no accident. With seasoned executives like Kelly Kroskopf and Amber Cox leading the charge, they are building a culture of teamwork and success. Coach Stephanie White, a proven winner, is laser-focused on bringing another championship to Indiana. As the Aces crumble, the Fever are rising to become the new standard in the WNBA. From their revamped leadership to Clark's star power, Indiana is proving how quickly a franchise can transform with the right vision and talent. Buckle up, this is the start of a whole new era in the league.
So it's a lot of question marks, and I really do think that there's a whole sea change for the Las Vegas Aces that has started already, is going to continue to come. We're going to see players leaving this team. We're going to see more, at least probably one more coach leave the team. And so, hey, they had their heyday already, and now their heyday is up.
Hammond's frustrations spilled into the public. She called out her players for caring more about Instagram likes than their performance. The chaos surrounding the Las Vegas Aces isn't limited to their players, it's permeated the front office as well. General manager Natalie Williams has resigned, leaving the organization without key decision-makers during a critical time. This exodus couldn't have come at a worse moment. Celebrated as the gold standard of the WNBA is now struggling to keep its foundation intact. The timing of these departures has thrown the franchise into disarray. Without a clear vision from the top,
they also will potentially be losing another assistant coach, Tyler Marsh, as well. Tyler Marsh has been speaking with the Atlanta Dream and the LA Sparks about their head coaching roles. And so it's possible that Tyler may be headed to one of those cities to become a head coach.